Hi, and welcome to the last episode of the current series of Word on the Street. On this episode, all eyes on LSAD as the student fashion show gets underway. We see what's going on in George's Quay. We follow up on recent TUS elections. We visit our sister campuses around Tipperary and ask what university life is like. We take a look at the challenges of travelling to and from college daily. And finally, we meet Student Accommodations Officer Cormac Dillon to discuss the challenges students face finding a place to stay.
LSAD Runway to Drag, the annual charity event run by the Queer Society in LSAD, took place Wednesday the 30th of March at the Wickham Way in Limerick, with an amazing turnout of over 400 people. We spoke to the three event organisers who gave us an insight on what it took to put the event together.
I'm Javier, one of the heads of the Queer Society here in LSAD. Me, Nicole, Alex, my other two event organisers. The show wasn't supposed to go on, but we really wanted to go on, so we put the show on in 3 weeks. We had to organise designers, a graphic designer, models, a venue for the after party. It was a lot of work, but we're here today and it was all really worth it. Everything turned out really well, and we're really excited for the show.
So Runway to Drag is an event that has always been run by LSAD, but we haven't had it in like 2 years because of COVID, and it's a really big charity event for us. It's one of the biggest charity events in Ireland run by third level students, and it's really about diversity and inclusion, and it's really a safe space for queer people to perform and to also socialise in a way that is inclusive, and in creating like queer nightlife and that kind of thing.
It's been great because now that it's not inside of the college, I feel like we're able to get more of the community involved. Like lots of businesses and stuff are helping out and like donating prizes, and there's even drag queens being judges outside that are like Limerick drag queens. So I feel like there's more of a sense of community this time around.
We're also exhibiting other students' work in the show, and we have all their work displayed on the walls here at the show, so all the audience members can have a look at the work by students in LSAD.
Check out the LSAD Queer Society Instagram at QueerLSAD for more details on the event.
On the 9th of March, second year photography, film and video students held a still moving exhibition showcasing their installation work across the George's Quay campus. Our team interviewed the students involved about their experience in running their first exhibition.
This is part of the Still Moving exhibition, which is a part of our course where they've asked us to do a video installation around our college, which is George's Quay. So we have several different video pieces from all the different students inside in this course.
The point of the exhibition is pretty much to show off our brief for work and pretty much show us the understanding of how location affects our video and how it looks different being projected onto different areas, and it just gives us understanding of how exhibitions work, and it's just very informing towards us as students.
Really helpful to get a gist of what works well with people, and you get advice straight from people about what they like, what they dislike, and what you can improve on, and you can see how it affects like the space you're putting your video into or your piece or whatever.
This is something that we will be doing in future as well during future exhibitions. It's my first time even doing projection mapping, so to even begin with trying to know the technology, how to use it in the beginning is just very good because it's something that I am planning on working with in future. So to even get the experience of doing it the first time and kind of like checking the waters if I like it or not is just a great opportunity to meet.
We spoke to two members of the TUS Students' Union regarding their future plans for 2023. We first spoke to the International Officer for 2023.
I decided to go for the role because, to be honest, I've been doing the international society stuff for a good while, and I like to go in deeper just to help more people there and reach out to more people. And what I plan to do for the next semester would be try to link up with societies and college, especially the Midland and Midwest campus together. I think the student union basically needs to be more organised and figure out like what we're doing more specifically, and hopefully they can reach out to more students and provide more services and more support to students.
I'm Ellie McCarthy and I am the Student Experience Officer for TUS SU 2022 and 23. So like hopefully I'm going to get just a bit more overall events and like enthusiasm from the students. I think that like just the college as a whole need to work a little bit more on having stuff for everyone, not just for the people that want to like drink, because it just tends to be drinking. I think communication is the main one that like you never really hear from them, and if you do it's through an email. And you know, like I don't know about you, but like I just get so many Outlook emails that I don't even read them sometimes, and I'm like going to be in the student union now, so like using like social media is a big one, like using their Instagram more, putting up more posts, putting things up earlier, like kind of reminding people that stuff is on, and kind of just general like kind of up to date with people, keeping people up to date. This week we chatted with two first-year students about their experience on the Clonmel campus.
No last name mention, I probably have to add. Doing digital animation production, so just making drawings move, and it's very tiring and can be boring, but it's fun, and that's about it. Sure, I think everyone kind of walks in absolutely terrified walking into a college building, because you're walking in from secondary school, which can be way different. So I found it kind of really daunting, but like literally all it takes is about a week, and then you're chatting away to people that you never met before, and all of a sudden you're best friends right away. For the college work itself, obviously like I'm not going to walk in being perfect at it, so it was hard, but you kind of get there, so it was good. I'm enjoying it all so far, because the education part itself is fine. We got really good lecturers that like sit you down and help you when you need the help, and you get more than enough time to do your work. But half the time I'd much rather be at home doing my work in my room, really, because computers here don't work half the time. So like literally like they're crashing when we load on, and when they do work we maybe get a good hour or two before we have to leave the room. So I'd much rather be at home doing my work, really. It's the Irish thing where we all complain and don't do anything about it. So I say yeah, we'd all love for it to be changed, and we've asked, like we've definitely asked first and started this semester anyway, but not much really comes of it. So we all kind of just knuckle down and come in after hours when classes are over. Me being from Thurles, I go home and stay in my room all day and do my work and come in the next day. So yeah, I'd say that people would definitely love to have it changed, but I don't see it happening anytime soon.
My name is Daniel Adigan. I'm studying at Clonmel for game arts and design. When you first come into the college, or any new experience or any new environment, it always seems like everybody knows everybody, and then you're the only one who doesn't know anyone. And so I would always try to get people to, like, I would introduce myself and then introduce them to to whatever group that was at the time, to be able to get them to feel that they're not alone. The student body are like a quite a diverse group, and I do enjoy the various activities that we can get up to. Clonmel sometimes can be the black sheep of the various TUS or formerly LIT campuses, in that a lot of the attention can get swayed away from Clonmel. As a first year, I only just become the class representative, and then thereafter the student representative. And with that, I'm trying to make changes and trying to develop and like get better resources for Clonmel. Like recently, even today, I'm having an interview with youth worker from Clonmel and a lecturer of mine who works in youth organisation, and in hopes to develop a student hub or some form of hostel for students off campus and after hours, as a safe space and like an area where students can feel accommodating and just chill out and like having a good time. So I very much wanted to get that safe environment for a student body to feel that if you're on this campus, that you even after hours, that you have somewhere to go. I guess my point being is that this is something that the college should be doing. It won't be able to get more students if the student body don't feel like they're in a safe environment, known amongst the campus that that's how it is and that's how it's going to be. And I guess my attempts in the future are just going to be trying to change that.
We also visited the Thurles campus, featuring a 200-seater conference centre, an elite 2,000 square metre sports lab. The state-of-the-art facility includes a 45 6-lane sprint track, a range of sport technology systems including exercise machines, weights, micro-electro systems and cable machines.
Following the rise of fuel prices, students across Ireland have been struggling with the cost of commuting to campus every day. Here are the views of some of the students that are affected by this crisis.
When I was originally commuting full-time with my car, I was spending roughly about €435 per month. That is including fuel, which is about €18 per round trip, tolls, and then the price of parking here.
I'd go through maybe a tank of diesel would last me maybe 10 days, and to fill my car is €80.
To fill a tank is about 70 quid.
I'd be spending nearly €40 a week on fuel because I'm driving.
I actually noticed a severe difference, well, firstly because it would be roughly about 11 o'clock until I made it home, and that's roughly about 12 hours a week I've wasted like just commuting. That's nearly half a day. And see, the thing is, when you're traveling, you are using energy and you will get tired. So it's like the second I made it home, I was just falling into bed. Like I barely had time to study, sleep, or even go out at the weekend.
Yeah, I suppose there's a lot of travelling in and out, like especially if like we've got like a long break in between. Do you know, like we might have like a lecture from like 9 to 10 and then might not have another until 4 o'clock. So it's kind of hard to stick around for the entire day, especially because we live so far out. Like we can't just go home for a bit and come back in.
It's just like the stress of like getting parking, and then you know you have to come early, and then you don't want to leave because you have to pay for parking, and then you're like, I might as well stay because I paid for parking.
It doesn't. I live at home, so it's like my personal life. I don't live too far away. I have a lot of friends at home anyway. There's not too many of us living in, so I wouldn't really say it affects it that much, no.
What can be done to improve life for the students?
Well, lower fuel prices, yeah, definitely.
In recent years, the accommodation crisis for students has become a huge hassle for students and parents, and even the staff here at the Students' Union in Moylish. We talked to the Deputy President of the Midwest Students' Union, Cormac Dillon, on how Accommodation Office helped students combat this crisis.
So students have to email us. Currently we have a website and we signpost to the website as well, and so students can go onto lit.ie/accommodation, and then they can click the link there, and that shows up all the available listings that we have to offer. We try to check up as much as possible, but the onus is on the property owner to notify us to be like that the accommodation is full. And then there's multiple different variances of properties on our listings. So you've digs, just rooms to let, apartments. But usually the student will ring up a number of them, have a conversation with the property owner and try and come to an agreement. We don't get involved, but we're here for the students' welfare if any other issues pop up from that anyway. In the last year, so at the start of this year when I came in, there was no system in place for all the accommodation listings that we had. So we had to create one. We lost probably about 50 to 60% of our listings just from doing that alone, because a lot of them weren't up to date. But we got another probably maybe 30% increase then again off that smaller percentage. We were full we were pretty much at 95% full capacity of our listings at a certain part during around September, October and November last year, and we've had people kind of coming along with a bit of work and added to that system. But that has been a lot of work that has been done behind the scenes to make sure that we can do that, and we're prepared for the next year then coming forward. But we've had students that were ringing us up that were staying in hotels, and we've had students that were ringing us up asking, is there any other listings? And it's not just a case that we are providing the service for students in the Moylish campus. We're providing the service for the Thurles, Clonmel, Ennis, Clare Street and Moylish students. And so it's a lot harder for the other smaller campuses like Thurles and Clonmel that are the smaller towns that might not have the same availability. We reached out to the newspapers, we were on Live 95 FM, and we still had students ringing us and saying they were in hotels. Is there anything that we can do to help them? We had a lot of international students that came and arrived in Ireland and then didn't have an accommodation, so they didn't have any place to stay. So we had to try and help facilitate them with a place to stay. It's one thing that Irish people are coming in and ringing, but when an international student that has no support, nobody to help them at all comes and says, I don't have anywhere to stay, it really is kind of something that you have to knuckle down. This is what needs to be done ASAP, and we did our hardest to try and help as much students as possible. No IoT or TUs have on-campus accommodation in the country. And this is because there's no borrowing capacity for these sectors to actually build their own on-campus accommodation, whereas there is with universities. And that is just not fair for students. It is not fair that certain students have restricted access to their school and their college because they are going to an IoT or a TU.
That's all we have for this episode. We'd like to thank all of those who participated in this series of Word on the Street, and we look forward to seeing you for the next series. Until then, take care.